It's the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show tonight, interviewing rockers on the red carpet for the Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout Cancer Fund's 3rd annual Bowl for Ronnie event with Mick and Shane of Lies, Deceit and Treachery.
Ronnie James Dio, Fight for Cancer Fund, man. We're here to bowl, and we hope you are too.
There was a lot of hype about the first BulletBoys album. Even before it came out, there was a lot of hype on MTV, and it was a fantastic record.
Thank you.
Where do you think that went wrong at some point?
Well, I think there were personality conflicts that really, sort of made the band implode almost from day one. I mean, there's a lot of rock musicians out there right now listening to me who would totally agree and say, oh yeah, I mean, we barely held this together throughout the length of it. And so when it finally imploded, it was a real shame, because I worked my ass off on it, and so did everybody else. And it's just the way it goes, It's like the natural progression, I suppose. So where did it go wrong? Right from the fucking beginning, but we held on for a very long time.
What was it like working with Ted Templeman at the time?
Honestly, it was kind of painful because he was a superstar producer and we were all, hungry dogs ready to get at it and work. So while he was taking his time and missing out on studio time, we were getting more and more frustrated, and the records ended up being way more expensive than they needed to be. And, it's the same old story. Everybody else can attest to that too.
How does somebody like you that's put his heart and soul into a band and had that kind of success, how after it dissolves, how do you come back from that mentally and emotionally?
Well, I walked away, frankly. I just kind of wanted to get into ambient music, so I just went in a completely different direction that was really cathartic for me. Played a lot of hockey and just kind of stepped away for a moment. And there was actually almost a switch that went off at one point where I said, look, man, I got to rock. I'm a hard rock guitar player. That's what I want to do. And that's when I kind of wish I would have met him back in 1994, 95,
Nice. I was here.
In this industry is a very dark place. Not a way like the positives and the negatives of coming back in the music industry.
You know what? I just locked myself in my studio, and probably to my own detriment. Nobody has heard a lot of the stuff I've done, but that's my thing. And I used to tell those guys all the time when they wanted to go on the road, I'm like, man, I'd just be happy if we stayed home. I could just be in the studio. And that really is where my heart is at. I like being in the studio, and it makes me happy, and it kind of shuts everything else out. Until you wake up and you go, oh my God, nobody's heard my music, and it's got to get out there somehow. So, and that's the business side of it that I don't do. I'm not a networker. I'm not a business guy. I kind of need somebody in my band or in my sphere to do that. And I think Shane understands. We're a lot alike in that.
I'm the same way. I don't play the game,
Tell me how you guys met.
Jimmy and I have worked together. Jimmy from the BulletBoys for many years. You may know that Mark is the only person in that band right now and has been for many years. I quit the band in 1993. And Shane and I met and worked with Jimmy and started Lies, Deceit and Treachery. Shane and I also have a project called The Hot Summers that we're working on right now. So, a lot going on.
What does your vocal sound like?
I don't really know. What do I sound like? Maybe Steve Perry, a little bit of...
He's probably better than Steve Perry.
No, I'm not.
I was going to say, well, hey, that could be heavy. I mean, Journey did some heavy stuff.
Yeah. It's a heavy sound. I mean, that's what we do.
And we just released our first single on the 1st of September.
Yep, we have a single called Devil. It's out right now, Lies, Deceit and Treachery, which is 3 of us from BulletBoys with Shane's much improved vocals.
Name?
Well, it's a play on a lyric from the last song on the first record. It's actually the last line on the first record. And it sort of encompasses everything we've been through and everything we expect to go through again. Some of the people we've dealt with, singer from the band included. And, we were hoping that it would be sort of an inside joke to people. As far as the sound goes, it's vintage BulletBoys. I mean, it's like, because we were all sort of new together, when we got signed, we hadn't really played that many gigs. We were not an experienced road band, that came much later. And so what we sound like now is a really super tight precision machine playing that material, and it's really fun.
The Blairing Out Show.